Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Let me get set up. It's still bright and
Yeah,
early in the morning here, so I'm still waking up. I
yeah.
got my coffee.
Well, I just went for a walk in the woods, just behind
Oh,
our house
nice.
here, and the sun
Love
is
it.
shining, and it's after lunch here, so
Just a little time
yeah,
difference.
yeah. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Of course. Well, thank you for having me on the live stream. This is
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
And my name is Jacqueline Rodriguez. For those of you who may not know me, I own a holistic salon in Virginia, and I've been in the industry, for 26 years, a really long
yeah.
time. And I'm the founder of the Holistic Salon Academy. I focus all of my business on clean, sustainable, and holistic practices.
Yeah. So, what does clean, sustainable practices mean to you? For the
Yeah,
people that don't know what
yeah.
that is.
Yes, because it can mean different things to
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
But for me, I have a very strict standard on the products and services that we offer.
Hmm.
So, very clean ingredients, as clean as we can
Yeah.
get. Um, the ingredients are important to me, and then sustainability. So, reducing waste
Hmm.
that we are putting out,
Yeah.
reducing the amount of plastics, reducing the amount of everything that we use, plus anything that we can
Yeah.
upcycle, recycle, reuse, is this just sustainability
Yeah.
part of it. And then the holistic is we bring a lot of
Mm.
wellness. And I'm a neuro coach, so I really work on like energy work and
Yeah.
mindset, really rewiring the brain. And I bring that all into the salon and focus with our clients, not only on the beauty on the outside, but the wellness inside.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really um, what I was doing without even knowing that I was
Yeah.
doing for years. And it's interesting because it seems like we have been on a journey that is quite the same, both
Yeah.
you and me, and we both have been in the business for over 26 years. Because that's I find it very like the synchronicities are very similar there, and I think that's
Yeah.
exciting. And I think it's sad that it's not talked about enough, the impact all of the chemicals that we are actually um, around as a hairstylist every day and breathing it in, and what that can actually have as an impact on our health. And I know you have a story around that. Do you want to share more of that? Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, the impact on us is huge. And here's the thing is we don't know what we don't know.
No, no.
We've always gone through this whole industry. We just do what we've
Yeah,
always known
yeah,
to do.
yeah.
And we don't question it.
No,
We just go along with it
yeah,
because for the last however many years, that's what
yeah.
we do. So my journey started honestly at home.
Mm.
It was when my kids were little, and I was cleaning the
Yeah,
bathroom and I was breathing in all this stuff, and my little toddlers were coming into the bathroom and I kept shooing them away.
yeah,
Like, I don't want you breathing this in.
yeah,
Just go to the other room, let me clean the
yeah,
bathroom, and then I'll come play. And for whatever reason that morning, I had a light bulb moment of like, well, if I don't want them breathing it in, because
yeah,
we do everything for
yeah,
our kids, like we would do
yeah,
anything. Like, why am I breathing it in?
yeah,
So that evening, I went down a rabbit hole of like, what is in our cleaning supplies and why is it so
yeah,
toxic and what can we use that won't be so
yeah.
toxic? And honestly, that moment opened up a whole new
Mm.
world for me. And I couldn't unsee
Yeah,
what I was seeing.
yeah,
And then it started to, from that moment, just transfer over to everything in my
yeah,
life. So the products that I was using, my hair stuff, my makeup, what we were eating, what
Yeah.
we were doing. But then I'm living like a cleaner lifestyle at home,
Yeah.
and I'm walking in every day to a salon
Yeah.
that I can't breathe in.
Yeah.
And I had never put that
No.
together. I had never put two and two together, like at the end of a long day, every
Yeah.
day for decade.
Yeah.
I would leave from work. Yes, we're tired. Yes, we're exhausted. But I would leave with like a slight headache
Yeah. Yeah.
and raspiness
Yeah.
in my throat
Yeah.
and just feel completely drained, like
Yeah.
a lot of weight sitting on my chest.
Yeah.
And until I cleaned up my home, I didn't notice the difference
No.
of how I felt.
Mm.
And that was a major, major change for me. And right around that time, I had decided to start my own business. So from that moment, I had to do all the research,
Yeah.
testing, trying. I mean, it was crazy
Yeah.
because there wasn't a lot of options, especially
No.
because we're talking 15 years ago.
Yeah.
There was no options, but I made a commitment to myself that I would try to find the best I could. So I started like slow, small things, started to make some change, and now that's evolved into everything in my salon.
Yeah. Yeah. And my story is that so I've had different type of allergies from when I was a kid. And working in a hair salon with like 7 other hairstylists with all these chemicals around me, I started developing both allergies on my hands.
Yes.
So they were like red and itchy all the time. And I was also needing to use my asthma medicine all the time because I had this heavy breathing. I couldn't like really, it was like
Yeah.
this heaviness. And so the first step I actually did was one thing. I'm also an introvert, so I don't like being around a lot of people. So I also started my own salon working by myself, and that helped. But the rashes just became worse and worse and worse. So I actually ended up stop offering chemical services and just focusing on hair extensions and things like that because I was afraid that maybe I won't even be able to do hair anymore because it was so worse. And I don't want other people to go and like quit like I do. And they should know that it actually there is an option to still offering color services that are more healthy. And I think it's a really, really good aspect of marketing your business as a hairstylist as well. Because I know a lot of people are looking for this nowadays.
Oh, for sure. And I've heard so many stories like yours that literally stylists thinking that they're going to have to end their career because of the allergies and because they have reactions.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we do now have so many more options out there. And whether you want to stop chemical services or not, there's a whole world of different options. But when you're thinking about it, like not only are you suffering through that, but we're seeing a huge change in our clients as well, where clients are asking for because they're having allergies, they're having sensitivities, and they also just are living a healthier lifestyle where chemical services just don't play a part in that lifestyle for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And that's where the marketing comes in. That's been, when I got really, really good and clear on my messaging for the salon and really went all in my values. That's where it all started to change in the salon for me. And I attract the most amazing clients and stylists to my salon that I couldn't have even dreamt of before.
No, and it's because when they see you taking you call it a standpoint,
Yeah.
no? Yeah,
A
okay.
stance. Yeah.
I'm like, is that even an English word? Or did I mess up my brain of thought here?
No,
English is my second language, and I'm learning French at the moment. So it's really
so
like it blows my mind sometimes. I don't know where I am with the languages anymore. But it's when you decide I'm going all in on this, and you live that, and you start to show that off, then people want to join, and they really want to be a part of what it is that you're doing. Do you think necessarily, because I know a lot of people get afraid that maybe the products are more expensive, that they are going to earn less money because they take this shift, or do you have any?
Yeah. Yes, that is definitely something I hear all the time. And here's the thing. It all depends on where you're starting, right? If you're starting with really, really low quality ingredients, yes, there's going to be a shift in price. But for most of the products that most people are using right now, currently, like if we're talking Redken, Wella, oh gosh, now L'Oreal, you know, certain, I can't think of the words. But if we're talking those higher end lines, I did a whole data analysis, and I broke down cleaner versions and traditional colors. And some of them, the cleaner version was cheaper. Some of them, the other one was more expensive. So it really depends on where you're starting. That being said, once you break down the numbers and you see where you're at, you also have to remember that you're creating it. Here's the thing. When you start to be a clean salon, let's just say, for me, and what I teach in my academy is you're not just using clean ingredients. You're creating an experience around clean and sustainable and wellness. And when you do that, automatically we know when we up our experiences, we up the value to our services. So really, I'm not seeing any dip at all. If anything, I'm making more profit than I did before.
And I think that maybe if you have been doing something, as you've been talking about, that we've been doing something because we are taught, and we know that I'm spending this much on color, or I do this. When it just becomes a habit, maybe you don't even know the numbers. And it's important that we actually get an understanding of these numbers in our business, and know that you're actually making a profit. This is something I talk to my students all the time, that we really need to understand this, because I know a lot of hairstylists as well are they go on their feelings because we are that kind. Creative people are like that. And
very
we
emotional.
think we know, and the numbers is just boring. And I think that maybe doing a transition like this can also have you get a deeper understanding of what is working in your business and so on, and building up on top of that as well.
Oh, for sure. I mean, here's the thing. I have always been a creative, and I'm dyslexic. I have a learning disability. And when I was growing up, I mean, literally in my own head, I'm like, I don't know how to run a business. I don't know how to do numbers. Like, I hate spreadsheets and this and that. And for a long time, I didn't want to do it. And then once, especially when I started in with the neuro coaching model and really teaching, learning for myself, but then starting to teach that, shifting my mindset around the mundane things of running a business. It made such a huge difference, because all of a sudden the fear of everything of, am I making enough profit? Are clients going to leave me? Am I going to be able to make my rent? All of that went away, because I could see right in front of me the numbers. And we know if we change this, we have to up this, make a little shift here and there. And then, and you can feel more confident going in day-to-day basis of your business.
Yeah. And that I think is so important, to have that confidence. Because then it's easier to actually go out and maybe show up more to get more clients or do this or that. But if you have that in back of your mind, it's like, I don't really understand what is working, what is not working. Then maybe you're showing up in like halfway, because you have this fear. Because you don't really know if it's working or not.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every single decision that we make is based on our belief systems. And our belief systems come from, like, we don't have enough time to get into all of that. but we have deep-rooted belief systems that guide every single decision we make. And when we're making decisions from a belief system that doesn't serve us anymore, we're getting results that prove that that is what we know, right? That subconscious belief is true. So really breaking and seeing different strategies and knowing the numbers and things like that will help you see that maybe that old belief system isn't right, and that there's a better, easier way for you to go about your business and, make a profit and love your life and love your business and not leave the industry.
No. And I think that one of the big things that we have to work on is truly believe and understand that we are worthy of that dream that you have. And really focus on that and working on that. And that is also something that I believe comes connected to that you actually dare to take leaps that might feel uncomfortable.
Well, and that's the whole reason I went into neurocoaching. It was because I'm a go-getter. I will go out there, give me a strategy, I will run with it. But I kept running with all these different strategies, and I was ending up in the exact same place. And I'm like, what is going on? And it was my subconscious belief. I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have, those beliefs were just in my way. So until I shifted those beliefs, the strategies did nothing for me. Right. And that's a big reason why I went and got certified as a master neurocoach. And I teach that in the academy. That's the first part, because I can literally give you every single strategy I did in my business. It's not going to make a difference until we align your subconscious thoughts with the dreams that you have.
And that I think is so important, that we become more and more aware of that. This is actually a real thing. and how our brains are wired, because that really impacts everything in our lives. Otherwise you will just end up having the same thing happen over and over and over again.
And I don't know about you, but that was exhausting. I was ready to get off of that roller coaster. It was just, I was getting nowhere. It was an never ending roller coaster of high highs and low lows. Once I got a handle on that, like my life changed dramatically in how I was able to just handle business. And if I can come from a learning disability, literally not, like, I can't spell. Don't ask me to spell. I flip words. if I can do that and get really clear on my numbers
Yeah.
and learn messaging and learn how to pull these pieces together,
Yeah.
anyone can.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I'm dyslexic as well. I haven't had it on paper, and I actually think I might have some variation of ADHD, because I'm sometimes all over the place, just starting new things and not finishing things, and wanting
Yes,
to do
I feel that.
everything all the time. And I think the more aware we are of, I work this is how I work, and what systems do I need to put in place for myself to work in my private life and then in the business as well, just so that it becomes easier. And I hate having structure, because that feels like I'm forced, but I have understood that when I have the structure, then I can dream. Like, and that was like a huge aha
Oh my
moment for
gosh.
me, because
Yeah.
it's like, because I thought that the structure would put me, take away my creativity, but it actually has expanded it. And that's like just mind blowing for me.
Oh yeah.
And I get more things done.
I felt the exact same
Yeah,
way. I resisted structure for
yeah,
so long. And I'm like, I just want to be
yeah,
free, do what I need to
yeah,
do when I need to
yeah,
do it. And now I don't have like it's not like structured from the time I wake
no,
up till the time I go to bed.
no,
But when it comes to work,
yeah,
especially
yeah,
working
yeah,
on the
yeah,
business, the
yeah, of course,
numbers, the
yeah, yeah,
marketing, all the things that are not as
yeah,
fun, when I put a structure into place, I get so much
yeah,
more done.
yeah,
And then I have so much more time to have
yeah,
freedom, like to wake up later in the day
yeah,
instead of having to get up at 5 a.m. to
yeah,
get everything done,
yeah,
right? Like what's important to me, I am now able to fit that in.
mm-hmm,
I don't work Saturdays in or Sundays
mm-hmm,
in my salon
yeah,
anymore. I don't work super late into the
yeah,
evenings. If I have something that I want to do to work on the business, I'll do it if I have time and
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
free to do it. But I get my stuff done
yeah,
during the day and
yeah,
I have time to do the other things that are important to me
yeah,
because of
yeah,
structure. And man, that's a hard one
yeah.
to like overcome.
Yeah, it is, and I don't, but I think I don't know where it comes from. Like, and maybe it is that it's not taught in school that we should have these like systems into place in our business as well, because I
No.
think a lot of hairstylists have this um, idea that the marketing and the business strategies and the building of the business should just happen by itself. It would just, if I sit in the salon, the client will come. And I think those days are over,
Yeah.
that you can open a salon in a prime location and the right people will show up. It takes strategy, and I believe it takes um, more from us to really attract clients nowadays, because they demand more. And I think,
Sure.
just as you've been talking about, uh, we have some clients that demand to know what kind of ingredients are in the products. They want to know what kind of impact the businesses are making, and what kind of sustainable choices you are making as a salon owner as well, so that they know that, okay, the money I'm spending here actually goes to what my values are.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is the industry as we know it has changed
Yeah,
dramatically.
yeah,
And after COVID, it changed and was like really amazing. It
yeah,
was so easy to get clients.
yeah,
And then we're starting to see a decline in
yeah,
that because clients just have way more options.
yeah,
They're also going longer in
yeah,
between, and there's just a lot of different
yeah,
factors there.
yeah.
And in my little town, we're not a big town.
Mm.
We have a small town, and we have 30, I think 33 or 34 salons
Oh,
in
okay.
my
Yeah,
tiny little town.
yeah,
So the market is, it's really
yeah,
saturated. So yeah, you can build a salon and you can get
yeah,
clients. But then I ask you, is it the kind of clients you
yeah,
want?
yeah,
Is it the type of, like, are you happy day to day? Do you feel like you're going in and you're working with the most amazing clients?
yeah,
You're working with the most amazing team? Because when I was, I don't know about you, but in the beginning of like getting into the industry, it was never about, are you happy? Like,
yeah.
are you
No, no.
making money?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
many clients can you get
Yeah,
in your chair?
yeah,
And who cares what they want? I
yeah,
literally had a job before where it was like, oh, you don't know how to do their hair. Like, you have to say yes to every
yeah,
client.
yeah,
And if not, you get fired.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there was no, well, I don't know how to do this,
yeah.
or I don't enjoy this type of work.
No,
I just had to do everything.
yeah,
For me, perms were the worst. And
mm,
I just had to do everything.
yeah,
And I was miserable.
mm,
And I walked into the salon not loving my job.
no,
And that's where I lost the love for our
yeah,
industry. And that's just not the case anymore.
no,
So if you're still feeling like that, I encourage you to stop and look,
yeah,
like, what's missing?
yeah,
What, what values are you missing from your life
yeah,
into your salon?
yeah,
And if there's a big gap, I can see why you're feeling that way and why
yeah,
you're ready to get out of the industry. But
yeah.
the good news is it doesn't have to be like that.
No, no,
And it
no,
doesn't have to be hard to
no,
change.
no. And I truly believe that the more specialized you are, the better you will become on the services that you actually offer, and that will attract more of the right type of people that will come to you for who you are if you have dialed down your messaging, and for the services that you offer. Because eh, nowadays people want to have that true, honest connection with you before they come to the salon. Because if you get those type of clients, then I've had clients that, oh, I've been following you for 10 years on social media. I'm so looking forward to tell you this, blah, blah, blah. I don't even have time to, like, what am I supposed to do with your hair? Because they start to talk so much. And then you have a client that is loyal. I've had clients flying for like 6 hours just to get their hair done, and then they fly back.
Yeah.
And they come back over and over again because of that connection.
Yeah.
And uh, for me anyway, and I think for a lot of other hairstylists as well, that when we get those clients that we truly, truly enjoy, and we offer services in an environment that we feel comfortable in, then work doesn't feel like work anymore. It just becomes like, I go into the salon, it's a time warp, I get out, and I have no idea what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's because we've gotten back to enjoying.
yeah,
The entire reason we got into this
yeah,
industry was to be
yeah,
creative, to be like to talk to people, to give back, to serve. And so much of that got lost for me in particular when it just became about, I need to get more clients
yeah.
in my chair and how much money am I making?
Mm.
I just didn't connect with that because it was exhausting. Now when it's back to doing what I love, I know I'm making a greater impact, and I have attracted through marketing, through, everything that we're doing, the right clients who stay for years and years and years, who tell everyone
Yeah,
about your salon. My team at the salon, like, I love my team. I love the clients.
mm,
It's a fun environment to be in. And I love that we're starting to see this shift in the industry. More and more people are noticing and recognizing that it doesn't have to be this struggle, and it doesn't have to be toxic. And when I say toxic, I'm not just talking about the products. I'm talking about the people and the environment. All of that plays a part, because think about how many hours you have spent in your salon. Most of us spend more time working than we do with our own families. And we love our families. And we don't always love who we have to work with.
No,
right? Being able to make that shift frees up everything in your life. You're happier all the way around. And you're able to give something to clients, because when you build your values, what is important to you, into your services, into your salon, you are actually solving a problem for your clients who have been looking and searching for someone who aligns with them forever and has never been able to find that. So you're serving, like you're solving so many problems when you're able to really get very clear and specific on what you want to do and what's important to you in your salon.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that in what I have noticed anyway, working in different salons, that it's kind of normalized that there can be this toxic situation between the coworkers, that they are bad mouthing each other, saying one thing to that's one and doing this here and there and there, and that creates an environment and an energy that is not really healthy.
Yeah.
And I think even if maybe the client doesn't hear it, they will feel it when they come into the salon. And that environment and energy will actually attract the same type of people into that world as well. So if you are tired of that kind of situation, if you are a salon leader, maybe it's start to change, like create a demand on the situation. Or maybe if you're just working for someone, find somewhere else that doesn't have that kind of environment.
Yeah. So it's always going to be harder if you're working for somebody else, because you can't make the changes. So in that case, if you're evaluating, like, go in and evaluate your life, your business behind the chair. Take some time, because I know not enough of us actually slow down and think about, am I actually happy? Do I like the people I work with, my clients? You know, yes, maybe I'm making money, maybe I'm not, right? Whatever that story is for you. But look at your life. And are you spending enough time doing the things that you love outside of work? Are you doing the services inside of work that you love? Do you love your people? Do you love, everything around it? And if the answer is no, and you're working for someone else, it's probably time to start to look for another place to work. Whether that is booth rental, like, for your own thing, or if you just find a salon that has the culture you're looking for. There's a lot of them starting to come out. So, but you have to stop and look at what's important to you before you can make that decision, right? Instead of going off of emotion, like, oh, this made me mad, now I just want to go find somewhere else. It's really like in that slow time, figuring out what's important to you. And then if you're a salon leader, listen, I'm a salon leader. It's not an easy job.
No.
We get it from every which way, right? But I do believe that salon leaders are responsible for the salon culture. And I think right now it is more important than ever to stop as a salon leader and look at, same thing, right? what have I created? Are my people happy? Are the clients happy? What kind of services are we offering? Have we dialed in enough? And then what are we standing for? Because every salon at this point in the game, every salon is turning out beautiful hair, beautiful head massages, like, you know, and great pictures. So you have to do something different. You have to set yourself apart. And it does start with your core values. When you get clear on what your core values are and start to implement them into your salon, I know it can be scary because you're the what ifs, right? What if my whole team leaves me? What if our clients leave me? What if, you know, all of the things. And I'm not going to lie to you. When I started to shift things over, I didn't have a team. It was just me. I brought the team on later after I was established. But my clients, I had plenty of clients who did not care about clean beauty, did not care about, like, didn't even know what sustainability or clean was. I lost some clients, but let me tell you, when I lost them, I freed up space for the most amazing clients to then find me. So not only did I let go of the ones that were, I mean, it was exhausting going into the salon sometimes, right? So when you let those go, I promise when you get really clear on your values and you're creating this environment, you will find the clients who have been searching for you.
And I think in life, it is important that we actually dare to let go, because if we don't, if we hold on, and I think sometimes if we are in a like freaking out mode, like, no, it's not going to work, and we're like really, really holding on, then we don't free up either like energy for ourselves or space in our calendar or whatever it is. And the more stronger you're holding on to the things that doesn't work for you, the harder it will become, and the more impact that might have on your own energy, your mental health, how you show up outside, like with your family, your kids, your friends, and so on. And then you might become toxic towards everyone around you because you're become a whining bitch or whatever we should call it, and spread that toxic around us. And I think it's so important to take moments and really listening. And my best recommendation, if you are in a situation where you're just like overwhelmed, freaking out, you don't know, like nothing is working, if you can, go somewhere else. Don't be in your home or in your salon. Leave the environment that you are from day to day. And even if you can't get a hotel room, you can't afford it, maybe you can go to a cafe that you usually don't go to, or you can go to somewhere that's not where you are every day. Because when you break those habits that you're in, then sometimes it frees up space to actually think more clearly and connect to what it is that you actually want.
That is actually one of the structures I have in my life now, is taking days, and that day I'm going to work from somewhere else. And by work, some days I go to a spa and I sit in the saunas and I bring my computer and I will literally work when I feel inspired there. Or maybe I go for a walk, or maybe I go down, like you said, I have a few different cafes, and I actually get my best work done when I'm away from everybody else, that, you know, our natural environment, I pop in headphones and I just let myself go. No expectations. The freedom of just allowing yourself to feel and slow down is incredibly powerful. I love that you brought that up, because that's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's the more we maybe are stuck in some kind of patterns, and maybe we're stressing and not maybe the only time you have like is when you're driving to work to actually, and then you try, oh, I have to work on this, and you have to work on it. It it almost gets like you won't be able to free that mind to really feel. And I think it's important that we really connect with what is it that we want, not what is expected of us, or what your friends or family members or your clients want from you, because you will never be happy if you just do what everyone else expects you to do. It has to come from you yourself.
Yeah. And that's when you bring the value to your life. And you mentioned earlier, like, everything we do, if we're around a bunch of toxic things, like, it will trickle over to your family, and you as a whole will just become more toxic. But the same goes with the other side. The more you feel free and aligned, your friends, your family, your clients, everyone around you automatically feels that. Even if nothing they have done has changed, when you change yourself and your energy, it is felt through everyone. I mean, I'm sure you've walked into a room where there's been a fight and the fight's over, right? But you can feel that energy. That's the same with our day-to-day life. If you're constantly stressed or holding on to things, like, there's no freedom, it feels almost suffocating.
So if someone would want to shift into clean beauty, what is like your best advice? Like, what is the first step for them?
The first step is, like we were just talking, like, get really clear on what's important to you, because clean beauty, the term itself, is not regulated. There's no one way or the other. So when you're looking at ingredients, you have to look at, what is important to me? Is it that it's vegan? Is it that there's no parabens, or whatever that is to you, right? Look and see what's important to you. Or is it sustainability? Is it, reducing plastic or upcycling? Just pick the one thing, see what's important to you, and then start to do research on that. Testing out products, testing out, new things is going to be the way that you actually can see whether you like it or not. We know that, right? You have to try something, but don't go out and just take face value of a clean product. You have to know what's important to you, because every single one is going to be different. And until we have higher regulations from the FDA saying, like, these are the parameters of clean, you've got the whole gamut out there. So look at what's important to you is the first step, I think.
And what I have noticed as well is that in Europe anyway, there like is this whole vibe of that this product needs to be sustainable, it needs to be blah 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 blah. And sometimes that is just a label, and when you actually look at the ingredients, there's nothing. That product is the most toxic thing ever. So I also think having a basic knowledge and understanding of what are these chemicals, or just learn what is it that I need to look out for that maybe have a negative impact on my health? And that could be like the first step.
For sure.
But just because a brand says that, oh, now we come out with our green line or our sustainable line, don't take the word.
No, that's what we like to call greenwashing.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at those types of things, this is why knowing what's important to you and doing the research is going to be paramount, because if not, you don't know. I mean, if you look at some of these names, you have no idea what they mean, what they do. So being very knowledgeable on just what's important to you first, then not reading the front of the label. You read the back of the label where all the ingredients are. And there are things out there, because you don't have to like know all of these big words. You don't have to be a chemist. There are so many apps that are amazing, because they will help read the label and tell you what that actual ingredient does. So it'll tell you whether it's a clean ingredient, like not harmful. Is it a plant-based? Is it something that's an endodisruptor, or is it going to be causing cancer? Like there are so many apps out there. One of the apps that I love is called Switch Natural. There's so many others. And I think looking at a few different places, because I know that the EWG and there's Yuka, they rate products. But again, when you're looking at a rating, it's from their standards. So until you know that what's your standard, you don't know whether that aligns with you or not, right? So I always, even if it has a rating, I will look at, again, the ingredients. And Switch Natural will take the ingredients and tell you which each one means, so then you can make your own educated decision.
That's great. So if someone would want to work with you further, can you tell us a little bit more about what that could look like?
Yes. So I actually have an academy called the Holistic Salon Academy, and it is a 12-month program where we dive into everything we talked about today. All the neuro, like rewiring your brain, setting yourself up for success, creating goals that, your dream, and then taking and putting each and every system from the every experience into play, and then also learning how to talk to our clients about clean and sustainable beauty, and our teams, and bringing all of those pieces in together. That's what I teach in the academy. So that's open. And then I always have master classes and a podcast. So I've got all kinds of information out there for you, because I'm passionate about this mission. Like, this is something where it is just not a non-negotiable for me. I want to support other stylists and other beauty professionals to start to make these changes for their own health.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So for everyone that's listening to the podcast, I will get all the links from Jacqueline and put it in the show notes so that you can get in contact with her.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm always on Instagram. That's my favorite place to hang out.
The same here. I haven't evolved from Instagram yet.
My team helps me be on the other platforms, but Instagram is where I answer all the messages. I spend my time on there. Like, I just love talking to people. We chat on Instagram all the time.
That's cool.
And that's at Clean Beauty Biz Coach. I should have said that. I forgot. Well, but it's always been so amazing, like, catching up with you. I absolutely love what you're doing.
Thank you for being here. And it seems like anytime we talk to each other, it just time flies.
I know. It's always
So,
fun.
yeah. So I want to say thank you for joining me here today. It's been a beautiful conversation. And I hope that everyone listening to this, if you feel that you want to work with Jacqueline further, don't hesitate to reach out to her.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
having me. I love our conversations and everything you're doing. So I appreciate you.
yeah, the same. So thank you for today.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.